12 races down. 8 remaining. One man has separated himself from the pack. After a second-place points finish in 2014.
It's Grant Enfinger running second into the wall.
Grant Enfinger has taken matters into his own hands. 3 wins, 9 top 10s, and over twice the laps led than any other driver in the field. Tonight, the ARCA Racing Series takes its show to the little track in Indianapolis, Lucas Oil Raceway. But there is nothing little about the racing on this short track. The .686 6-mile oval hosts short track racing at its best. Tight turns, passing lanes, and a whole lot of contact.
Big crash as they come toward the start-finish line.
Hold on. This is going to be fun.
The ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards competes in 20 races at 18 different tracks across the country. Tonight's event lands the Midwestern Stock Car Series in the Mecca of Motorsports, Indianapolis, Indiana. It's the 11th running of the Sioux PowerPex 200 from the Lucas Oil Raceway Park. We have drivers from age 16 to 60 in the field, so who should you watch out for tonight? Well, how about the number 98? That's Austin Wayne Self, and after 3 second-place finishes, he finally picked up his first career victory at Winchester on June 28th. Kenny Schrader's the oldest winner in the ARCA Racing Series. April 26th was the date of his last win. He took his Federated Auto Parts Toyota to wins at Salem. He'll start 9th. Grant Enfinger, driver of the number 23, is our point leader, and after 3 consecutive wins to start the season, he is on a roll. He has a 95-point lead, and his Chevrolet starts 4th. And our fast qualifier tonight in the Crosley Brands Cunningham Ford from Wentzville, Missouri, it's 17-year-old Kyle Weatherman. Hi, everybody. I'm Ray Dunlap, along with Phil Parsons. Glad to have you with us tonight. It's a beautiful evening here in Indianapolis. But, Phil, I want you to put your crew chief hat on tonight. ARCA's only going to give you 6 tires, and it's a 200-lap race. How would you like to call it?
Well, I think, Ray, ideally, I would like to get a caution somewhere around lap 40 or 50. Come in, put my right side tires on. And then I want to go to probably somewhere around lap 130, 140, and put my 4 tires on, because track position is critical here. This racetrack looks really wide, but it's not. The racing groove is pretty narrow, and these guys are going to be fighting for space on this racetrack, and you want to be up front or close to the front near the end of this thing to have a shot at it.
All right, so look, I gave you 4 drivers you should watch because each of them are winners so far this season, but we've got some very good young drivers making their first career start tonight.
Yeah, it's incredible, the talent here in this series. We've got a couple guys. We got Travis Brayton. He's a 2-time ARCA Series Super Series champion. He's going to make his first start starting in the 8th spot. And then we've got an Indiana Sprint Car driver going to make his first start in his home state. Chase Briscoe qualified in the 5th position. And then William Byron. He's our East Series point leader. He's won half the races over there. He's won 4 out of 8 races. He's going to make his first start from the front row for Venturini Motorsports.
Keep in mind, we had 7 consecutive first-time winners here in the ARCA Racing Series before Mason Mitchell screwed that up last week at Iowa. Here's a look at your front row today. We mentioned the Kyle Weatherman making his 3rd career ARCA pole tonight. A very fast qualifying time here at Indianapolis, over 110 miles an hour average. And how about William Byron, a driver who's been making a lot of waves over in the K&N Pro Series East. His number 55 car is on the outside of the front row.
Combined age there, 34 years, 17 apiece.
Okay, some very young drivers in the field for sure. Whenever we look about this season, Phil, it's been very interesting. We talked about Grant Enfinger winning 3 in a row, and then it was Schrader. He got that big win at Salem, but then all these young guys getting their first win. That's pretty cool.
It's amazing. We had 7 first-time winners in a row. That is incredible. It had never happened in the history of this series, and this series started in 1953.
And a couple of drivers who got their first career win in the very first start. We'll see if that's able to happen tonight here at Indianapolis. It's a beautiful evening. We're getting ready to go, and pre-race ceremonies are underway, so now it's time for us to go trackside and get it started.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, here to give the command for tonight's Sioux Chief PowerPex 200 presented by Federated Car Care, our Grand Marshal, Sioux Chief Shipping Manager, Del Tiedemann.
Drivers, start your engines!
Thank you very much, Don. On behalf of the ARCA Racing Menards, this is the Sioux Chief PowerPex 200.
We had an ARCA Racing CRA late model race earlier. John Hunter Nemechek was the winner of that one. Who will be the winner tonight? Well, we'll introduce you to the starting lineup after this. Welcome back. The race cars have fired up and left the pit road as we are ready to go with the 13th event of 2015 for the Automobile Racing Club of America here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Indianapolis. Just an absolutely perfect night for racing as the skies are clear, and we want to take a look at our Scott Rookie of the Race today. And we are going to focus on the driver of car number 69, Matt Wallace from Concord, North Carolina.
Yeah, there's not much of a legacy there with the Wallace name. Obviously, his father, Mike, won an Xfinity race here back in about '94, about 20 years ago. He made his debut at Toledo early this season with a top 10 finish.
He had a good run that night, but he said, I really think we can do better, and they were very happy with the race car in practice today. So we'll watch Matt Wallace tonight in car number 69. Once again, our Menards Pole Award presented by Ansel tonight goes to the driver of the number 22 car, Kyle Weatherman. He had a really fast lap, as I said, an average of over 110 miles an hour in his Crosley Brands Ford. He drives for Cunningham Motorsports, gets a big congratulations from his crew, and you see his crew chief, Paul Andrews, there with the hat on.
He led both practice sessions, been fast all day.
Kyle Weatherman got the pole at Nashville, Iowa, and tonight here at Indianapolis. That's his third career ARCA Racing Series pole presented by Menards. Field is getting warmed up a little bit. They'll take a couple pace laps around this beautiful racetrack here. We'll take a look at the starting grid for tonight's Sioux Chief PowerPex 200. It's on the top of your screen. Weatherman and Byron on the front row. Brandon Jones driving for Venturini's in third position.
Remember, he won this race last year. He's the only former winner here in the field.
Enfinger starts up there in row number 2, and we'll look where your favorite driver starts as we move all the way back through the field. Interesting mix at the front. We've got Fords, Toyotas, Chevrolets, and Dodge all up there in the first 6 qualifying spots.
Yeah, a lot of parity here in this ARCA Racing Series.
A couple of cars getting a push start as we will get the field lined up. They will go 2 by 2 and ready to go around here. Well, I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. We now want to bring in our third member of our broadcast crew tonight. Jim Trado from Milwaukee, Wisconsin is in the pits. Jim, what's on your mind?
Ray, at this storied short track, there's one driver that everybody's top of mind of, and it happens to be our pole sitter, Kyle Weatherman in the Cunningham Motorsports Ford. It's his third pole, second consecutive here in the series, but more importantly, his stats speak for themselves. This 17-year-old Roush Fenway Racing development driver has put the car out front in both practice sessions and, of course, in qualifying. And the Menards Pole Award presented by Ansel went to the driver everyone's looking at. His crew chief, Paul Andrews, and that young driver tested here back on July 5th. Very similar weather conditions, very similar speed. They are the ones to watch amongst the competitors here on pit road. We'll follow the race all race long here down on pit road for you.
Well, thank you, Jim. Let's take a look at our onboard cameras tonight. We'll have 4 of them in the field, and this is the AM Technical Solutions Ford. This is Austin Wayne Self-Phil. He starts 17th. He'll have to be cautious early.
Yeah, certainly. As you mentioned, he's got his first win just a couple of races ago. He's in the Pirate Energy onboard, driving a Ford.
Josh Williams in the number 6 car, starting 14th in the Musselman's Applesauce race car. And as we move further up the front of the starting lineup, it's Matt Wallace.
Yeah, Matt Wallace, as we mentioned, had that top 10 at Toledo just a few races ago, and he's driving the RacersRVStuff.com Ford for Bill Kimmel.
Well, you know there'll be some people in the grandstands rooting for this young man. A.J. Fike is an Indiana native, and he'll be driving car number 27 tonight. He qualified 11th. We'll have some great shots for you from on board the race cars tonight here at Lucas Oil Raceway.
You see these corners, Ray, you see they're pretty wide, but really the groove is going to be towards the high side of the racetrack. It will probably move up even higher. These guys may be running right up against the wall in the corners.
We've got a mixture tonight of 5-star composite bodies along with the steel bodies in the field. And here's a look at our track description tonight. And look, 7.5 degrees in the turns, that's not much.
That's pretty flat. And that really is a little bit higher at the top. It's a little bit flatter down below. You see this racetrack length is a little less than 7/10 of a mile.
Sioux Chief sponsoring our race analysis tonight, and we're talking about 2 pit stops. That's what you estimated.
Yeah, if you had to go green all the way, you could probably run somewhere around 130 laps, but these guys will want tires before then.
Absolutely. So we see on the outside Kyle Weatherman in the 22, William Byron down to the inside, and the green flag is out here at Indy.
trouble. Travis Brayton had a problem on the initial start from his 8th spot. Really bunched the field up. You see him, that's that yellow car up high. Looks like he may be back up to speed now. Lost a ton of positions.
Lost a lot of spots and went 3 wide as they went through turns 1 and 2. Here's Enfinger now trying to put some pressure on William Byron in that Liberty University Toyota.
And for a lot of these drivers, Ray, the competitors are new to them. They've never raced against these guys. Like William Byron's never raced against Grant Enfinger and vice versa.
And how about Chase Briscoe in the 72? A lot of guys probably in there going, who's driving that race car?
Same situation. That's one of his teammates right in front of him, Tom Hessert, a multi-time winner here in the series in that 77 car.
Barbera's Autoland Ford is the 77. Tom and his wife Megan just had a baby recently. Tom the 4th entered this world back in July. Glad to let them know our congratulations. Tom said he hasn't slept much, but he loves it when he gets back to the racetrack.
How about 3 wide here? Brian Keselowski, the 29 car, jumps to the outside to make a pass. That's a brand new race car for Brian Keselowski. His first start since 2012 here in the series.
A composite body on that number 29, but it's the exact same engines that Matt Krzyzewski used a week ago at Iowa. So with the ARCA Elmore 396, these guys can swap engines in and out of cars, and it's a great opportunity for Brian Keselowski. He's normally crew chiefing.
That's right. He's a great race car driver in his own right. He's got 3 ARCA wins to his credit. There's Travis Brayton, that 0-1 we were talking about, that poor start for him now. He's trying to make his way back towards the front.
It'll be easy to spot that race car tonight with that big West Virginia on the hood. It's bright yellow and blue, and he's going to try the low line. This time looks like he's going to put pressure on Austin Wayne Self. Can he hold that line? Ooh, he gets a little loose coming out of 2.
Remember, I said this racetrack is plenty wide enough to go 3 wide there, but it's hard to get that bite on the bottom of the racetrack.
J.J. Haley in the number 74 right there. You see him. He was not able to qualify tonight, so started at the back of the pack, but it looks like his race car's pretty quick.
Yeah, it was very quick in practice. He had the 2nd fastest time to Kyle Weatherman in both practice sessions.
2 by 2 everywhere we look around the racetrack tonight, and there goes the 25 back up off the bottom of the racetrack. He's in front of Enfinger, and again, that is Brandon Jones, the only former winner here at this racetrack, entered in tonight's race.
Yeah, he just made the pass on Grant Enfinger to take over that 3rd spot. Remember, a little bit of contact there. The 98 of Austin Wayne Self got into the 69. Matt Wallace just a little bit there.
Wallace says, I'll put that one in the memory books, and now he'll be side by side racing with a 0-1. They fall in line right behind Keselowski.
Well, that's a great view out of this race. There's RV stuff on board for Matt Wallace. There's Travis Brayton, the 0-1 car right in front of him. Travis trying to make his way back up towards the front. Right now, Brayton is up to the 14th spot.
See RacersRVstuff.com sponsoring Matt Wallace is on board tonight, and there goes Haley. He's going to move ahead of Matt Wallace just that quick.
Basically did a slide job on Matt Wallace. That's a very, very fast number 74 car. Todd Braun, former Xfinity team owner, owns that car. That's his nephew.
We see the sun setting now, Phil, and a little bit in the windshields. Is that going to be any issue for these drivers?
I don't think so. I think we're starting late enough that we're going to be okay as we see Travis Brayton try to get by the 29 of Keselowski.
Kyle Weatherman, our leader here. Brandon Jones on the move in the 25, moving forward. More racing from the ARCA Racing Series from Indy after this. Clean and green so far tonight after 14 of 200 laps here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park in Brownsburg, Indiana. Kyle Weatherman, our pole sitter tonight, jumped out to an early lead. He now has almost a 2-second lead over William Byron in car number 55. He's coming up there on the number 80 car and going around Scott Reeves from Palm Beach, Florida. And so he is setting a wicked pace already early on tonight, Phil.
Yeah, he certainly has. As you mentioned, he got his first win on the road course at New Jersey and his first ever start on a road course. There's William Byron, that blue Liberty University, number 55, with Brandon Jones, the 25, right behind him.
I asked Kyle where he thought his first win would come. He says, oh, probably Salem, maybe Winchester. I don't think he ever believed it'd be at New Jersey.
But he took it. He was happy to get it.
Hey, the trophy's on the shelf, that's for sure. Got a good battle here as the number 59 is down to the inside. A.J. Fike is on the outside there in car number 27. David Levine from High Park, Illinois, trying to take that spot.
Looks like he's dragging possibly a brake duct hose or something like that. You can see it from the onboard there for A.J. Fike.
That was a change of 9th position, so that'll move David Levine into 9th and put Fike back to 10th. You see a 5-star logo here on A.J. Fike's on board tonight. They're sponsoring it, and what an interesting initiative they have this year, Phil. An 11-panel composite body, and it's made out of a really strong, durable material. If you bang up one fender, you can just unhook it, take it off, and add a new one.
Yeah, that was done in conjunction with NASCAR. It's the same body that the K&N cars will use, both east and west. Right now, J.J. Haley's trying to get by A.J. Fike. J.J., as you mentioned, started all the way to the back of the pack, was not able to get to the qualifying inspection line. He's really making a nice move now. That will move up into the top 10.
Nice run for Haley early on here as he goes by A.J. Fike in car number 27.
He is definitely on the move. He's running some of the fastest laps in the field right now, but Kyle Weatherman continues to hold about a 2-second lead there. You see J.J. Haley, 5 top 10s in the K&N series this year out of 8 starts, doing a nice job. Went out to Sonoma for the West race, had a top 5 finish out there.
J.J. Haley, one of the youngest drivers in this field at age 16. The only one younger, Clayton Weatherman, who's the younger brother of our pole setter, Kyle Weatherman. So
a little bit of contact there with somebody for the 74 of Haley. You see the bumper cover is torn loose there a little bit. That shouldn't pose an issue at all, though. Trying right now, the issue is for David Levine.
David Levine driving for Lyra Motorsports. Has run every race of the season, and you're right, whatever that is, it continues to unravel and come out of the back of his number 59.
I tell you, that Haley car is really good. It's hard to make that car work down on the bottom like he has now. He's able to move up the racetrack. Again, a little bit flatter down there on the bottom. Hard to get the power down up off the corner, but Haley's doing a great job doing it.
We see Haley running speeds that are almost identical of our pole sitter Weatherman, but boy, he's in lap traffic now, and he's going to have a few to deal with. He comes up to go around Bobby Gerhart in the Lucas Oil number 5.
Yeah, believe it or not, Bobby's in the 18th spot. That's what kind of pace he's setting. That's Matt Wallace, the 69 car, right in front of him. We're right along right now with Matt Wallace, right in front of our leader, Kyle Weatherman.
Gerhart just celebrated his 57th birthday on Tuesday. Unfortunately, now going a lap down, and this shows you just how tight the action is here at Indy.
Yeah, Kyle Weatherman has been amazing, though, but this traffic has allowed William Byron to close in a little bit. There's some good side-by-side racing. There's Josh Williams, the 6 car, trying to get by Fike in the 27. How about Austin Wayne Self now, all the way up to the 13th spot, started back in 17th.
That's our Pirate Energy on board. He's driving a Ford tonight. Austin Wayne has had an up-and-down season. He continues to battle in our Calypso Lemonade Short Track Series. The ARCA Racing Series competes on big tracks, dirt tracks, and short tracks, and this year they have a special award for the drivers who compete on the short tracks. So far, Kyle Weatherman has been the man on the Calypso Lemonade Short Tracks, and he leads here at Indy. Well, we talked about the diversity in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. How about we go to a 3-turn, 2.5-mile racetrack next Saturday? We'll be back on Fox Sports 2. The coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern, and if you can't see it there, make sure you stream it live on Fox Sports Go.
It's going to be a doubleheader with the Camping World Truck Series in Pocono on Saturday.
Absolutely. Beautiful racetrack, great time of the year. And we see the number 10 car of Clayton Weatherman.
Yeah.
That is the younger brother of our pole sitter. He's on pit road, and it looks like they're going under the hood, Phil.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely unscheduled. These guys, again, should be able to run about 100 laps longer than this. So probably some sort of an engine issue for that 10-car tough break for Clayton Weatherman. He was running up in the top 10. Looks like they got it repaired, though, and he sent it back to the racetrack.
Well, whatever that was, hopefully a quick fix, but he will be a couple of laps down by the time he rejoins the track. And part of the reason is because his brother has got some lightning fast times.
Certainly does. Right there, he's trying to lap the 68 of Brian Finney. Brian right now runs in the 15th spot. So just an amazing performance here for Kyle Weatherman.
Just 35 laps in of 200. Again, we will keep our eye on the pit stop strategy tonight. Phil told you that more than likely you want to come in and get tires 2 different times. You've got 6 tires in the pits. But again, this thing's staying green. You know, when we went to Nashville, Phil, Kyle Weatherman got out front early, and he led 71 consecutive laps at the front of that race. That's the most anybody's led all season.
Yeah, he's looking like he might do that. There's a good shot at William Byron. What a nice young man, 17 years old. Got to start only a couple years ago in the Legend Series, was a national champion in the Young Lions division of Legend cars, then went to late models driving for Dale Jr. last year, made the move to the K&N Series here, doing an outstanding job, won 4 races already this year.
When we look at the K&N Series, we look at ARCA specifically, and even in the Camping World Truck Series, have you ever in your career seen more young drivers with this kind of talent, the kind of poise that they have, and the ability to get out there and compete at a top level?
Yeah, we go through phases and say, where's our next superstar is going to come from? And then we get a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-olds that win races against tough competition. Right now, A.J. Fike, that 27 car, has already gone a lap down to the 27 of Weatherman, and Fike runs 14th.
Fike again from Indiana going a lap down, and as Phil said, now just 13 cars on the lead lap as Kyle Weatherman continues to pick them up and put them down in his Crosley branch number 22. That's from Cunningham Motorsports. What a year it's been for Cunningham when we look back, not only just the victories, but these young drivers coming and getting their first career win. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've had 3 winners already this year in that 22 car, Kyle Weatherman being one of those. So Paul Andrews does an outstanding job. You remember Paul Andrews was a cup winning crew chief, championship winning crew chief in the Cup Series for Alan Kowicki way back when.
Blake Jones picked up the win at Talladega, and obviously also Trevor Bayne with his first career win at Pocono. All 3 of those coming for Cunningham Motorsports, and they've got another really fast race car underneath Kyle Weatherman tonight for sure. Yeah,
the impressive stat about Kyle Weatherman is the fact that he's made 20 starts in the ARCA Racing Series. 17 times he's finished in the top 10. So he doesn't tear his equipment up. He gets to the finish line.
Those are some pretty good numbers for sure. And then keep in mind, this young driver is just 17. He'll be celebrating his 18th birthday on August the 28th. A very talented young man and already putting up some great numbers early on in his career.
Yeah, William Byron, that 55 car, is able to knock a little bit of that lead off. Kyle Weatherman had some pretty heavy traffic. That's the thing. Then William will have to go through that traffic as well. You see him on the high side there, that 55 car. But really, both these young men doing a nice job, as well as Brandon Jones, who holds down that 3rd spot in the 25 Menards car.
I talked about the Calypso Lemonade Short Track Series. Kyle Weatherman leads those points, but it's a slim margin, just 10 points over Austin Wayne Self. But here's the thing. There are 11 short track races. You get to use your 10 best and eliminate one of the bad ones. But right now, the 22 car is coming up quickly. It won't be very long before he gets to Austin Wayne Self. If we stay under green, I believe the 98 is in danger of going a lap down.
Yeah, as well as Travis Brayton, that 01 car that had such a poor start. We talked about him, qualified 8th. Something happened, missed a gear or something on the start. He's the next guy to go a lap down. Then Austin Wayne Self, the 98 car. Man, it's amazing the pace that he's setting, as well as Josh Williams right there in the 6 car.
So we're 44 laps in of 200. Kyle Weatherman has led every lap so far tonight here in the Sioux Chief PowerPex 200 from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Well, my stat about the 22 car leading more than 71 laps tonight has gone out the window, because guess what? We have a new leader tonight. William Byron in the 55 has gone by Kyle Weatherman. They got hung up a little bit right behind the 01 of Travis Brayton, and guess what? Here came the 55. Here's how it happened.
Yeah, there he is. You remember when we went away to commercial break, the 01 was right in front of the 22. Hasn't been able to get by him. That slowed him down. William Byron took advantage. Got a good run off of turn 4, got to the inside, made the pass going through 1 and 2.
Uses a low part of the racetrack, and guess what? Brandon Jones in that number 25 right there in the thick of it too. He's going to put some pressure on Weatherman now as the number 55 stretches it out a bit.
Yeah, Williams finally been able to get around the 01 of Travis Brayton. So nice job by William Byron using that lap traffic to catch Weatherman and made his way by him.
Remind me, you said at the top of the show, if the perfect pit stops happened, you'd come in when?
Well, around 40 or 50, but you have to come in under the caution flag. You're not going to come in under green. So right now, if the caution comes out, I think I want to come in and get my right side tires. But right now, this race really doesn't have a caution feel to it.
No, we've been clean and green for all 54 laps here.
See Brandon Jones, that 25 Menards car, pulls it up on the back bumper of that 22 of Weatherman. Weatherman's car doesn't look quite as strong as it was early on.
But he was able to get by Braden, and that was the one that was holding him up a good bit. So to the high side he will go. We drop back in the field just a little bit. This is a battle for 6th. Here's Ken Schrader in the Federated Auto Parts Toyota. Schrader's been all over the country. He's run about 60 late model races already, and on Wednesday night he was running truck racing at Eldora.
All over the country. Every year he goes all over the country, running probably upwards of 100 races. Kenny Schrader right now runs 6th. As you mentioned, actually extended his record of being the oldest ARCA winner earlier this year. But how about that young man behind him? Doing a nice job. That's Briscoe, and J.J. Haley, the 74, is all the way up now to take over the 6th spot from the back of the field without the help of a caution flag.
That is an impressive run for J.J. Haley, the driver of the number 74, just 16 years old. This guy's been doing a lot of racing this year, too.
It really has, and he actually had a pole last year at Elko, Minnesota in the ARCA Racing Series. Had a 3rd place finish up there. That's his best in the ARCA Series.
Youngest pole winner in series history, I believe. This is a battle for 2nd right here as Weatherman now is on the high side. He's right behind his brother Clayton, and down to the inside will go the number 25 of Brandon Jones. Looks like his brother's pick is going to let the 25 get by.
Yeah, Brandon Jones has been able to get by him. Clayton Weatherman, we heard during a commercial break, had an ignition problem. That's what brought him to pit road early on. Obviously got that car repaired, but now he's being shown 3 laps down.
So the 10 car not in the mix for this battle, but Kyle Weatherman, who had what looked to be the absolute dominant race car early on. He led the first 50 laps of tonight's event, but he has now been passed by William Byron, and Brandon Jones gets by. So Weatherman certainly losing the handle a bit on his number 22.
Yeah, and remember all these guys that William Byron and the rest of these leaders run up on. They don't want to go a lap down. Austin Wayne Self is in the 12th spot. That's him in the 98 right in front of William Byron. He absolutely wants to stay on the lead lap here, try to catch a caution and come on back around. William's going to try to make a move to the inside. Looks like they almost make a little contact there, but William has his nose up inside him. Let's see if he can get the power down.
The number 98 to the high side. Self trying to stay on the lead lap. The Liberty University Camry will power move down to the inside. He drifts up the racetrack. Is Self going to let him in? Yeah, he does, but he's going to go a lap down now to the 55.
Yeah, William's done a really nice job with these lap cars there. That's what got him the lead, is able to get by Travis Braden, who held up our leader, Clayton Kyle Weatherman. Look at this pack now. There's a 25. Brandon Jones. Now he has a 98. A Boston Wayne Self in front of him. That's between our leader, the 55 of William Byron. That's Josh Williams, the 6 car right in front of him. He's just outside the top 10 and 11th.
Josh Williams had such an amazing season going. We went to Iowa, and his aunt helped him get to the racetrack, and he had a big crash there, tore the front end off of that car, and lost a lot of points. Went from 2nd in the points all the way down to 4th. And now I would say, unless something amazing happens to Grant Enfinger, Josh Williams may be out of a shot at a championship here this season.
Yeah, we're riding along in that Musselman's Applesauce, Indianapolis Children's Museum. 4th for Josh Williams. William Byron has really been able to do a nice job with these lap cars here. Caution on the racetrack right now. We're hearing debris on the racetrack in turn 4. That will be a huge break for Josh Williams. He just got lapped, but he will get the free pass to get back on the lead lap.
So that'll be a big break for Josh Williams. First yellow tonight. We're 62 laps into the PowerPex 200. Under our first caution tonight at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the first 50 laps were dominated by Kyle Weatherman. Then William Byron got out front. He has been our leader, but we just had a round of pit stops here. So let's get an update on what happened on the pits, and back to Jim Trado.
Well, as fast as William Byron's been in any series he's run, 3 different ones until today, he's never had a live pit stop. The team went very methodically through what they wanted to do. They wanted to change the right side tires, just 2 tires and Sunoco fuel. He said the car got tighter during the run, and in dirty air, he wanted a little help there. So they changed right sides and put a ½ pound in the right rear tire. Jeff McClure, kind of a crew chief by committee here in the 55 machine, put the leader back out of the racetrack with just 2 right sides. Also the same said for the number 22 machine, our early race leader, Kyle Weatherman. He also just changed 2 right side tires on his Cunningham Ford.
So we had William Byron came in as the leader, but Brandon Jones's number 25 team gets him out ahead. He'll gain 1 spot on the pit area, and then Tom Hessert with a good run. Here is Kyle Weatherman.
Yeah, Kyle came out in the 4th spot. Tom Hessert's guys that got him out in 3rd. Good job by them. But Clayton, right now, Kyle Weatherman has got a really, really good race car. Just lost that lead in traffic. He opened up about a 2-second lead at one time, lost it in traffic, and then lost a lead to William Byron in traffic.
So we will reset the field here and get ready to go back to green. And really, your pit stop strategy worked out fairly close to what you were hoping for.
Yeah, 50, 60, somewhere around there. Was just after lap 60 when these guys came down pit road. So I think they're good to go now until we get to somewhere around 130, 140 is when they're going to want to get to pit road again.
Let's get another update on car number 25 and Brandon Jones back to Jim in the pits.
Well, they had a great stop. Again, Venturini Motorsports campaigning this number 25 all season long. Split between Brandon Jones, this winner here a year ago, and the driver who won here in 2013, Frank Kimmel. This team took 2 tires on that pit stop. They had just a small track bar adjustment because he, too, was a little twitchy on entry. So Brandon Jones gets the adjustment he needs in the Ansel Menards Toyota to get him back out on the track first with a 2-tire change.
Thank you, Jim. There is Frank Kimmel, an 80-time winner here in the ARCA Racing Series, splitting the ride with Brandon Jones. What better mentor could you get?
Good guy. An 80-time winner. That's hard to even imagine. 10-time champion here in the ARCA Racing Series.
You know, we talk about 7 championships for Richard Petty, 7 for Dale Earnhardt. It's a really amazing number, but to think about 10 at any level of competition like this, when you got to race all over the country on multiple different tracks, Kimmel has certainly been the man here in the ARCA Racing Series.
He certainly has, and you know, his dad, Bill Kimmel Sr., also was a winner in the ARCA Racing Series, raced against my brother back in the 60s, Minnie.
His brother Bill, Frank's brother Bill, I should say, crew chiefing tonight for Matt Wallace. So runs in the family for the Kimmels from just down the road here. Here's a look at our Calypso Short Track Challenge and the winners that we've seen so far. Again, it's an 11-race series, so lots more coming your way. They'll go to Berlin. Then we have 2 dirt track races on the miles at Springfield and DuQuoin. And it all wraps up at Salem Speedway in September. The first time ever that they've had a championship within the championship for the short track drivers, and I love it.
And I like the fact that they throw out the worst finish, too. So 11 races, and you count your best 10.
Again, Kyle Weatherman, the leader, with a 10-point margin over Austin Wayne Self. And Grant Enfinger, 105 out, but guess what? There's a lot of racing to go. I wouldn't count him out.
No, I'll never count him out.
So we have just 1 yellow so far tonight. I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. Jim Trado is covering the pits tonight. And here are those points for the Calypso Lemonade Short Track Challenge. Enfinger, as I said, 105 out. Williams and David Levine, they're a little bit further back, but it'll be fun to see because those mile dirt tracks can make a big swing in the points too.
Yeah, they certainly can. And how the ARCA point system works is you get 200 points for a win, 195 for second, 190 for third, and 5 points on down. So that's, if you have a bad finish 25th or 30th, and your competitor finishes up in the top 3 or 4, then you can lose a lot of points.
Let's go back on board here in the AM Technical Solutions Pirate Energy on board. This is Austin Wayne Self. He is running in 12th position.
He is 1 lap down, though, Ray, right now.
Yep, so Self down a lap and back on board with I-69. This is Matt Wallace in the RacersRVstuff.com Ford.
Yeah, doing a nice job in his second ever start here, running just outside the top 10. Again, 1 lap down.
AJ Fike carrying the 5-star stock car bodies on car camera.
Yeah, AJ Fike is a dirt track winner many times in his career.
Galesburg, Illinois is AJ Fike, and he'll try to get back in this one. William Byron down to the inside. On the high line, it's Brandon Jones. Then it's Hessert and Weatherman in row number 2. Enfinger not far behind. And we're back under green for just a second time tonight at Indy.
Yeah, Brandon Jones was a control car. Looked like William Byron went first a little bit, had to slow back down. And when he did, Brandon Jones took off.
Guess what? Look who's in the picture. J.J. Haley right there in car 74 from the back, working his way to the front.
How about 3 wide for a moment? Grant Enfinger, the 23 car, gets down to the inside. Meanwhile, we've got a battle shaping up for the lead.
William Byron looking to the bottom there in his Liberty University Toyota. This is Venturini car versus Venturini car. I'm sure they're being reminded, be careful now. We're only on our way to the halfway point of tonight's event.
Yeah, Grant Enfinger all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side with Kyle Weatherman for third.
Good racing tonight here on the short track in Indianapolis. Down to the bottom goes Enfinger, trying to use that high side. A pair of Cunningham race cars. The 22 is Weatherman. The 77 is Hesser.
We didn't talk about Tom Herschel a whole lot at the beginning of the race, but he was a solid fourth early on in the going. Right now, still running up in the top 5. And how about J.J. Haley, all the way from the back of the pack, racing just outside the top 5.
Hesser's been good on the short tracks. A couple of wins at Salem, and here's a battle for the lead. Down to the bottom goes the 55 Byron, trying to take it back away, but number 25 Brandon Jones says not quite so fast.
See, you got a little bit of momentum on the high side for Brandon Jones. See, William Byron looks like he has him cleared for just a moment. Is he going to move up the racetrack? No, he's going to give Brandon Jones some room. Now he's got it.
A 17 and an 18-year-old racing for the lead here at Indianapolis. Youngsters abound here in the series, and good racing to the front as the number 55 back to the lead. William Byron takes over the lead at lap 74.
Looks like that William Byron car liked that little bit of an adjustment they made on that pit stop. Very, very fast early on as we take a look at Canoe. Trouble!
Brian Finney has hit the wall pretty hard on the right side.
Yeah, a lot of damage to that 68 car. Wow.
Oh, it's in the front. Brian Finney's from Merritt Island, Florida. Bob Steele Chevrolet sponsoring this team for years and years. His dad, Phil Finney, calling the shots tonight. But they have hit very, very hard on the left front of that number 68.
Yeah, the right side tires are up right now, Ray, so not exactly sure what happened. I did not see it from our position.
Lots of fluid coming out. The radiator obviously busted. He has shut the engine off and pulled it down to the bottom of the racetrack, but we're under caution for the second time tonight. Let's take a look at right here. Looks like he has made contact with the inside wall.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he just got sideways up off the corner and then it got away from him and then he hit the inside wall, but he certainly did. He certainly hit that inside wall virtually head on, it looks like.
So the safety crew is there attending to Brian Finney. We're under caution for the second time. 76 laps complete tonight in the Sioux PowerPex 200. Well, you gotta love a Saturday doubleheader on Fox Sports 1. Tomorrow we've got a good one for you as the Oakland Athletics battle the Giants. Then later on in the evening, it'll be the Braves taking on the NL Central leading Cardinals. Coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1. And as always, you can see it on your phone on Fox Sports Go. We're under caution here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. Back with more ARCA racing after these messages. Welcome back to Lucas Oil Raceway Park. It's ARCA racing on a Friday night right here on Fox Sports 1. Glad to have you with us. Heading our way to the halfway point, and let's go back down to the pits and get an update from Jim Trado.
Well, I thought I'd give you an update on the leader. Once again, William Byron finds himself out front here. I asked the team, what did he say after the pit stop? They didn't have a lot to say. But his crew chief is a by committee, as I mentioned. We have Dave Liner down here. We've got Jeff McClure down here. 2 of the veteran crew chiefs on the Venturini staff. Also, Kevin Belcourt, who's here because Kevin has been working with William Byron on just about everything he races, including the East Series, where they've won 4 of those 8 races this year. Kevin has a Venturini Motorsports tie as well. He actually worked with Billy here in 2003, 4, 5, and 6 when Billy was the driver, now the overseer of the operation. So Kevin kind of back home, if you will, for this one-off. And one thing William did tell him before this race, live pit stops are key. I wanted to get in the ARCA race. My sponsor, Liberty University, said, let's do this, and they're doing just fine. No changes after that stop. He didn't ask for anything. A little bit different with Grant Enfinger, because Grant Enfinger, the number 23, Allegiant Travel Chevrolet, had an ideal stop. They came out pretty strong, but he said the car was tight in the center. I've got to save my rear tires. And Phil, if they change 2 right sides, he wants to save his rears. Maybe it's another right side change. Will that help him, you think, on this half mile?
Well, I think they're going to change 4, Jim. I think that's the key, but he definitely doesn't want to spin that right rear tire and use it up as well as a left side tire, because he definitely wants to have something good to race towards the end of this race.
83 laps complete. So when will they come back down for another round of pit stops, and will they get the opportunity? Well, let's take a look at next Saturday, because we've got the Camping World Truck Series heading off to the Tricky Triangle. As you said, Phil, a doubleheader that day with ARCA and the Camping World Trucks. The trucks are on Fox Sports 1 beginning at 12:30 Eastern. Make sure you watch us on TV, and if you can't, check it out on your phone on Fox Sports Go.
Rumor is Kyle Busch will make his Truck Series debut for the year at Pocono next week, along with possibly Kevin Harvick driving, rumor is right now.
Oh boy, an interesting lineup for the Tricky Triangle for the Camping World Trucks, who just came off of the dirt track at Eldora on Wednesday night. What an amazing show over there. And we've got a good one for you tonight here at Lucas Oil Raceway. We're in Indianapolis, headed towards the halfway point of our Sioux Chief PowerPex 200, ready to go back to green flag for the third time tonight. William Byron on the outside, Brandon Jones to the inside in his Menards number 25. Here they come out of turn number 4, back to green. Looks like contact between the front runners.
I think a little bit of tire spin for William Byron that time. Brandon Jones drives it hard down in turn number 1, but William Byron has the momentum on the high side.
And number 23 of Enfinger trying to take a look too. He wants some clean racetrack, trying to move his way to the front. Enfinger qualified in 4th, and he's been right up there, and here he goes now, pushing for 2nd.
What a run through the center of the corner for Grant Enfinger. You know, he won those first 3 races this year, hasn't been back to victory lane yet. You know how bad he wants it.
Absolutely, and Enfinger has been out front an amazing amount this season. Led 545 laps so far in 2015. And that's a lot more than any of his other competitors. But right now, William Byron stretching it out on these two battling for 2nd.
Yeah, right now, this is slowing these two guys down as they race side by side. Grant Enfinger wants to grab this 2nd spot away from Brandon Jones. Brandon doesn't want to give it to him. Grant's getting a pretty good bite down to the bottom, but look at the momentum from the high side.
Enfinger and his crew chief, Kelly Kotsky, decided to take a steel body race car when we went to Iowa last week. They said, no doubt about it, they'll bring their short track composite car here tonight. And it looks like it's running pretty well, but right now the 25 able to stay ahead of him.
And drop out J.J. Haley, the 74 car right there, all the way up to the 4th spot. Kyle Weatherman back to 5th, Tom Hessert 6th.
No question about it. Haley has passed more people tonight already before we get to halfway than anybody. Again, he started at the back of the field and bring that 74 car up into 4th position, and he's going to try to race it with Enfinger.
Yeah, it looks like he's as good as Grant Enfinger right now. Once Brandon Jones was able to clear Enfinger, he's opened up 3 or 4 car lengths, but Haley is right there in that 74 car.
Mark McFarland calling the shots tonight for J.J. Haley, and he's obviously giving him a good race car as here he comes looking at Enfinger. Both of them in the same line coming through 3 and 4.
I believe that may be the race-winning car from last year that Brandon Jones drove to win this race last year. The Haley's driving all the way down to the bottom.
It is indeed, and look at this. He's able to go by Enfinger right through the center of the corner. Move up J.J. Haley all the way to 3rd place.
That was a power move, a bit of a slide job. But Grant Enfinger said, hey, we're only 90 laps into this 200-lap race. I'm not going to contest that spot right now.
He's a thinker, that's for sure. But Haley on a flyer on his way to the front, up to 3rd position now. And J.J. Haley just 2.5 seconds, even less than that, behind William Byron now.
There's Josh Williams, the 6th car. Right now, he's on the lead lap. Remember, he got the free pass 2 cautions ago. There's A.J. Fike right now. He's just outside of position to get the free pass if the caution were to come out.
Phil, I want to go back to that story on Josh Williams. They had a hood of his race car at the Indiana Child's Museum, and all the kids that were able to come in and go on a tour were over there getting autographs. They were taking pictures with him this weekend. It was really, really cool to see all those names on the hood of this race car. And Josh Williams and his crew have done a lot of those kind of things throughout the course of the season, trying to give back to the community.
Yeah, doing a solid job here in this race car, too, right now running in 10th spot.
William Byron, our leader in the 55. And here is a shot of A.J. Fike. Fike now in the 27. He's back in 13th position. And I think that he is 1 lap down as well.
Yeah, that 98 right there, Austin Wayne Self, he's the first guy that's 1 lap down. He's in that free pass slot right now, running behind Brian Keselowski. Brian's in the 9th spot on the lead lap.
What a great run tonight for Brian Keselowski. You see them now. He's on the high side of Austin Wayne Self in that number 29. That black Ford, a brand new race car for Brian Keselowski. He's been calling the shots as crew chief throughout the course of this year for Matt Kurziewski, and boy, what a lot of great runs those guys have had.
Yeah, they certainly have. And I was talking to Brian at Iowa as we see Austin Wayne Self try to get underneath him, and he said, I've never had a brand new race car. This is the first one that I've ever had in my entire career.
Kurziewski finished 15th at Iowa, but other than that, all top 10s for him this season. So Brian Keselowski doing a great job as crew chief, and now he's going to have to battle with Austin Wayne side by side.
Yeah, Austin Wayne himself would love to get by that 29 of Keselowski to give him a little bit more of a cushion, because that 27 car, A.J. Fike, is who he's racing to be in line for that free pass.
Keselowski using the high side as they go 2 by 2 once again on board with Josh Williams, Musselman Applesauce, number 6. He's running in 10th position. He's saying, hey, Austin Wayne, look, we're battling for position here.
He may just say, hey, go ahead, Austin Wayne. I'll just follow you by Keselowski and grab that spot.
Keselowski's in 9th. Josh Williams in 10th as they continue to battle to stay in the top 10. And as again, Austin Wayne self trying to stay in position to get back on the lead lap if we were to have another caution tonight.
Yeah, what a great battle, though. You would know these guys were not racing for position. Hard racing here with Josh Williams, that 6 car right behind him.
99 laps complete. Next time by, we'll see the crossed flags here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Heading towards halfway of tonight's Sioux Chief PowerPex 200. Jim Trado calling the action down in the pits. I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. Glad to have you with us tonight as we've got good racing all the way around the track. And down to the inside, Self now continuing to go side by side with Keselowski, and we are halfway through tonight's race.
You see there's a bit of a gap up in front of Brian Keselowski. That's why Austin Wayne Self says, we got to go, we got to go.
William Byron, our leader tonight in the Liberty University Toyota, the 55 car out front tonight here at Indy. There are 20 events in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards, and tonight Sioux Chief PowerPex 200 is race number 13 of 2015. Indianapolis Raceway Park is the site of tonight's event here in Brownsburg, Indiana. We have 95 laps to go. So far tonight, Weatherman was the dominant car early on. He led the first 50 laps, then William Byron got out front, and we've also seen Brandon Jones leading. And here goes the 42 of Bo Lamastus. Lamastus making a little bit of contact with the right front fender there. Louisville, Kentucky, the home of this driver. And it looks like he has come off turn number 2 and just lost it on the middle of the backstretch.
Yeah, he was running in the 19th spot. He was being shown 2 laps down. He had a little help, it looks like.
Could have been David Levine there in the 59 that was pushing Bo Lamastus. I couldn't tell exactly.
A couple of those cars look exactly alike, the 58 and the 59.
Lyra Motorsports cars painted the same with just a couple of different numbers on them, but Lamastus will get it turned back around and head to the pits to get a little work done on that right front fender. Bo had a great run at Talladega, finished in the top 10, actually a 9th place that day, but boy, there's that front of that nose is pushed down a good bit there, Phil.
Yeah, I think they're going to need to prop that up a little bit. Otherwise, when he goes down to the corner, that nose is going to set down on the racetrack.
I've seen guys lay a 4x4 out on the pits and then get the car jacked up.
Just drop it down on it.
Drop it down, and that'll fix it.
Absolutely, whatever it takes.
I don't know if this guy pulling on it's going to be enough, but get a big hammer out. That'll help.
I've done that before, too, and I've also hit myself in the head with a hammer doing that.
You're supposed to not. You're supposed to hit the fender.
I know.
A little over 100 laps complete here, and there it is, the 59 of Levine, and looks like maybe Lamastus started to slow slightly a little bit as David made contact with him. They were coming out of turn number 2, and again, a little bit of right front damage for the Crosley brand dog.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for whatever, maybe got a little bit loose or whatever the case may be, I think his momentum stalled out a little bit, and that's when Levine got into him.
A little early now for pit stops, Phil. If you're going to come back and get those 4 tires, don't you want it to be a bit later?
I think I want to wait at least another 30 or 40 laps. I think they're going to stay out, Ray.
All right, we look at the backstretch. Nobody coming down pit road other than Bo Lamastus, so we're under caution once again. Back with more ARCA in a moment. Back at Lucas Oil Raceway, we are 89 laps to go tonight in our 200 lapper. The cautions came out, and Phil, we didn't think anybody would come down pit road, but there were a couple of takers.
Yeah, Travis Brayton, the 01 car, came down pit road, put 4 tires on, Brian Keselowski came down pit road, did fuel only and some adjustments. There's Travis Braden right there. They really didn't have much to lose it because they were 10th and 11th on the lead lap, so they didn't really lose anything. There's Brian Keselowski right there in the 29. Again, fuel only with some adjustments.
But an interesting move for Braden to do some tires here. That might give him an option later on in the race. We'll see how that plays out when you're at the tail end of the front running cars. Why not try something? So both of those guys duck down pit road, and they'll resume, get back in line here as we get ready to go.
You know, if everybody else comes in on pit road 30-40 laps from now, then Travis Braden stays out because he put his 4 tires on. He'll probably have the lead when these guys come to pit road.
And enough fuel to go the distance for sure. 88 to go here in the Sioux Chief PowerPex 200 from Indianapolis Raceway Park. And I said it again, it's Lucas Oil Raceway. So many years coming here, we called it IRP, but now Lucas Oil, the fine folks from right here in Indianapolis with the sponsorship of the racetrack, and glad to be back here with the ARCA Racing Series. A year ago, it was Brandon Jones in victory lane. Back in the history, we saw Ty Dillon and Frank Kimmel also winners after we resumed racing here in 2011. Back to the 01, let's get more information on what happened from Jim Trado.
Well, the good news is for 01 Travis Braden, his ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards debut. That 2-time ARCA CRA champ has Matt Weber helping him out in the pits. Matt actually helped rebuild the car that they got together for Travis, and Matt has been a crew chief, a winning crew chief, 3 times over last season. He started the year with Mason Mitchell Motorsports, and now he's working with Travis, and they're looking to do more races. So I could say Matt Weber has been the genius behind this move if it pays off for Travis Braden in his debut here at the Lucas Oil Raceway. Is that right, Ray? Lucas Oil Raceway.
You got it, Jim. And here's the thing. As I said, why not try something different if you're in the back of the lead lap cars? So down to the inside will be the number 74 of J.J. Haley. We're back to green. He doesn't get a great start. William Byron will lead him to the green.
Yeah, Haley spun the tires a little bit. Haley was able to get that second spot away before the caution came out from Brandon Jones. How about Grant Enfinger now? That 23 car on the high side, taking third.
The big question for me is, what is the deal with Kyle Weatherman? Is he pacing himself or not? Because at the beginning of this race, he was absolutely on a rail. I'm wondering what kind of adjustments Paul Andrews has made for that 22 or what they have planned, because he really looked great at the beginning, and now he's been continually running in 4th or 5th, but not a dominant car like we saw early on.
Yeah, we see Tom Hesser trying to get by him. Tom actually had gotten by him before the caution came out, but Tom's going to lose maybe another spot to Chase Briscoe, his other teammate. All 3 of those cars right there from Cunningham Motorsports.
Oh, wow, what a group right there.
Look at Travis Braden. You see that yellow and blue car top of your screen for a moment, trying to go by Josh Williams. Remember, 4 new tires on that 01.
And we have a slow car over in turn number 2 that has lost power. So the yellow flag will come out once again here in Indianapolis. Looks like that is going to be Chris Lafferty in the number 97.
Going to be a big break for A.J. Fike. He's going to be in line to get the free pass, so that will give us 13 cars on the lead lap.
Lafferty plays in a music band, and they are opening up for the rock band Saving Abel, so that's why you see that band on the side of his number 97. But it looked like he lost power as he came back out of the pits, so Chris Lafferty brings out the yellow. No contact of any kind, just looks like the engine stalled. So good crowd on hand tonight here at the Lucas Oil Raceway Park, and they are watching the Sioux Chief PowerPex 200, 117 laps complete. Are you ready for some UFC action? Well, we're back on Fox tomorrow with the rematch that everybody's been waiting for. The bantamweight champion, TJ Dillashaw, is going to take on former champ Henan Barrow. Plus, we've also got Misha Tate and Jessica Ai in a women's bantamweight bout. It's all live, and guess what? It's all free. Tomorrow it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Fox, and streaming on Fox Sports Go.
See A.J. Fike, the 27 car, going by the pace car that gets him back on the lead lap. Again, 13 cars on the lead lap here as William Byron continues to lead.
So the track crew out there taking a look to make sure there's no other pieces of debris. We saw another, looked like a brake duct fell off of a car, so the safety team checking that all out, and we'll get ready to go back to racing tonight. 120 complete of 200 racing laps tonight here at Indianapolis.
Yeah, so much history at this venue right here, Ray. I came up here for the first Xfinity race back in 1982, and we had a press conference, and you wouldn't believe all the media that showed up for that. That's such a huge deal for NASCAR at the time, first time ever coming to Indy.
Yeah, when ARCA started here in '71, Ramo Stott from Keokuk, Iowa, got that first win. But then you look back into history, we also saw Bob Shack with a couple of really good runs, and Davey Allison won here at this racetrack back in 1983. So there's Matt Wallace, the 19-year-old son of Mike.
You know, his uncle Kenny announced just a couple of weeks ago that the Xfinity race next week in Iowa is going to be his final NASCAR race. And man, is he going to go out in style, because he's going to drive that 20 car for Joe Gibbs.
What an amazing deal that'll be for Herman. We'll be watching, buddy, for sure, in his final race as a NASCAR driver. Kenny Wallace, a great competitor and a great friend of ours on the TV broadcast.
See James Swanson, the 48 car for James Hilton, is stalled on the racetrack. He was inside the top 20, but not sure exactly what's going on with that 48 car.
Such a great run for Swanson at Winchester. He finished 8th. But it looks like they're having some kind of a problem in that Radon.com and Can Do charity number 48. So they'll get a truck and come out and give James a push to try to get him back to the pits to diagnose the problem. We've had 4 different leaders tonight. William Byron's been out front for 62 laps. Then at the very beginning, it was all Kyle Weatherman. He led the first 50, and then Brandon Jones and Haley.
Chase Briscoe's really done a solid job. Again, first, he's one of those 3 drivers we were talking about, Ray, making their first ever start. Doing a nice job there. Open wheels his background. He's from Indiana, runs sprint cars, midgets, open wheel stuff, but really been solid in the top 10 this entire race, driving the 3rd car for Cunningham Motorsports.
And what a big jump it is to come out of a sprint car, even if you've been on a track like this before, and jump into one of these full-bodied stock cars. Very heavy, different horsepower, different weight ratios. It's quite a jump.
Yeah, we've seen guys make that transition with a lot of success really early on. Obviously, we saw Kyle Larson, as soon as he came to stock cars, was really, really fast. And we've had a lot of guys really doing. Hey, Jim, what's going on with that 72?
He's got Corey LaJoie as a spotter. Neil Lewis is also the engineer for Cunningham Motorsports. This car has what was 2nd place finisher Austin Wentzel's setup from a year ago, and the car that Tom Hesser drove here 1 year ago. This is a good piece. This Dodge is ready to rock, and Briscoe extremely comfortable here at Lucas Oil Raceway.
Good run for Briscoe. He's in 7th. He's right behind Weatherman, his teammate, and here they come, lining up once again. Back to green flag racing. William Byron leads him back to green. He'll take the high side.
Another great restart by William Byron. Look at Grant Enfinger trying to get a new little contact.
He's down on the bottom, and he gets up there with J.J. Haley. Haley in the 74, running in 3rd position right now, but the high line really seems to be working. The 25 of Brandon Jones making time, and here comes Tom Hesser.
Yeah, that contact allowed Brandon Jones, the 25, to get around Haley to take over that 2nd spot. We haven't talked a whole lot about Tom Hesser. He's been strong, Ray, running in the top 5 this whole race.
Enfinger was using the bottom, trying to dive down low to take over 2nd. They come by 1 lap later, and he's back in 5th.
Yeah, it's hard to get that bite down there. We've talked about it. The outside really gets rolling. That groove moves up as the race wears on. You get more rubber down on the racetrack.
All right, 75 laps to go. We will be keeping an eye on what the drivers decide to do if and when we get another yellow. Most of them are set on fuel to be able to go the distance here, but a lot of them certainly would like to come back in and get tires. And now Enfinger trying to continue to use that bottom. He drifts up to the middle lane, and now to the high side goes the 22 of Weatherman.
He really gets a good bite up off the corner. He stays even with him at the start-finish line.
How about Braden?
Braden doing a nice job. Remember, 4 fresh tires. He has the freshest tires in the field right now. He really needs to use those tires and make some ground up.
The University of West Virginia on that 0-1. A bright race car, hard to miss him. And Grant Enfinger sees him to the right, and he sees him coming up to the high side, and he sees him going by.
I think right now that most of these guys, again, if we get a caution flag in the next 10, 20, 30 laps, they'll probably come to pit road. That will put Travis Braden out front. If they all come to pit road, we may have some guys that are running really fast laps right now, Ray. As the tires cool off during caution flags, we may have some guys that said, hey, we pitted back on lap number, back lap 65, something like that. We may just stay out and run the rest of this thing.
Chase Briscoe to the high side, and here comes Schrader in that Federated Auto Parts Toyota. He's going to try to use the bottom.
Kenny Schrader, so much experience here at this racetrack, and just about all these ARCA Racing Series venues. An 18-time winner in ARCA Racing Series, and that's why he was a Cup regular for years and years. Won a couple of Xfinity races in his career. One of the first guys to win in all 3 of the major divisions of NASCAR, because he won back in '95 in the Truck Series at Saugus, California. Look at that record, 76 starts to 60 top 10 finishes.
That's some pretty good numbers for Fenton, Missouri's Ken Schrader. And again, Schrader picked up the win at Salem Speedway. And Phil, remember, the engine that was in Schrader's car at Salem Speedway when he won had come out of one of their race cars that they had run at Talladega the week before. That's amazing.
They end up running that same engine the first 8 races of the year before they had to rebuild it. ARCA really did a nice job in conjunction with Elmore Engineering for this new ARCA 396.
The engine that Kyle Weatherman is driving in his car tonight is actually the one he used to win at New Jersey. So diversity is certainly the case for the Elmore 396. William Byron's got a lot of horsepower tonight. No question, the Brickyard is a special race, and we will say farewell to Jeff Gordon. It'll make his last start at the famed Speedway. And if you want to know all about the news and previews of the race, all you got to do is check in with NASCAR Race Day. Then later, don't miss Victory Lane. We'll have highlights, interviews, and analysis of all the day's action. Coverage begins at noon Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming on live on Fox Sports Go. Well, we've had an interesting situation here tonight. We're expecting an opportunity for everybody to get their final set of tires, but the 0-1 car of Braden has already done so, and he has made his way up through the field. This is a good run right in this group right here. Tom Hesser trying to put some pressure on J.J. Haley, but look at this. Here comes Braden. He's right in the mix, right behind them in the 0-1. Yeah, that's 2nd through 5th right there. Brandon Jones is holding on that 2nd spot. Meanwhile, as we see Braden go way down to the bottom and try to get by the 77 of Hesser, William Byron's opened up almost a 4-second lead on this battle for 2nd. The number 9 of Thomas Prater in the DK Lock. Number 9 is down to the bottom. He'll give way to those front-running cars, and right now looks like Haley was going to try to go to the bottom, but there was another car there, so he's trying to put some pressure on Brandon Jones. They're a good battle for 2nd, and here goes Haley. Remember, this kid came from all the way in the back, and he's charging in for 2nd place. And Ray, he looks in the mirror, and he sees that 0-1 coming. He says, man, I'm going to have to go here. I need to get by this 25, try to open up some daylight before that 0-1 gets here on those fresh tires. Again, our leader is William Byron, but this is a great battle. J.J. Haley down to the inside. He's going to try to take away 2nd from Brandon Jones, and looks like he gets it done on the backstretch. And Brandon Jones said, can you believe that that's the car I won with last year that just passed me? Brandon Jones 18, J.J. Haley 16. Here comes Braden. Travis from Wheeling, West Virginia, and again, Jim Trado told us that Matt Weber made the decision to do something different, and they put their 4 tires on. My question, Phil, is he running too hard, too quick, too early? Well, he wants to right now. He's over 5 seconds behind William Byron. If this race goes green the rest of the way, he may be in the driver's seat with those fresh tires. We really don't know what these tires will do with over 100 laps on them. And remember, those guys only put right side tires on in that first pit stop. If this race goes green the rest of the way, he might be in the driver's seat. But if we get a yellow pretty much from here to the end, doesn't it force all those front running cars to come in and get tires? Or do you stay out and say, I'll get my best finish possible? Well, William Byron will be the guy that's going to make that decision if the caution comes out, because he's the first one that will have to choose whether he makes pit road or not. The good news is he's got a committee of crew chiefs down there, so they can all think it over together. Exactly. And how about meanwhile, that 0-1 takes over the 3rd spot from Brandon Jones. He's on the move. On the move is Braden. He goes to 3rd. Brandon Jones in the Menards number 25 drops back now to 4th position, and here is back up to the front. This is the way that William Byron is getting around this racetrack, using the middle, going up to the high side when he needs to. His last time was 24.4. Yeah, that was in traffic, though. They're a couple tenths slower than what Haley and Braden ran. But he has done such an outstanding job, been solid here.
Lost a battle off pit road, got the lead back, now opened up a pretty big lead. Right there is the 74 car. That's J.J. Haley. There's Travis Braden, the 01 car. That's going to be a battle for second here momentarily. That's a battle for position as well. Chase Briscoe, the 72, had that spot. Josh Williams is going to take over that 8th spot.
Williams has really been great on the short tracks, and let's give a call out to him once again, because this may be the most underfunded team that has been able to stay competitive week in and week out. He doesn't have a lot of help that comes to the racetrack with him. And again, he's got that hood with all kids who signed it at the Indiana Children's Museum. It's a really great story, and even though he had that tough race last week at Iowa, he continues to compete week in and week out. Running very well is Josh Williams in 8th position.
Yeah, he's made his car better too, because we saw him get lapped early on where he got a free pass. Now he's passing some of those cars that have been able to stay in the lead lap this entire race. He's definitely improved that car throughout this race.
On board with Josh Williams in the Musselman's applesauce onboard camera. He's going a little bit up in the higher line, too, as he goes through the corner.
Gets a nice run off, gets that car turned, tries to make the straightaways as long and straight as he can.
As long as nobody's down underneath you, you got the opportunity to use the full racetrack, and Josh has been able to do that. Inside 50 to go here in tonight's Sioux Chief PowerPex 200.
There's J.J. Haley trying to get away from Travis Braden. He's on the prowl. Braden has those 4 fresh tires. Gonna lap by the 69 of Matt Wallace. Matt's doing a nice job running right now in the 15th spot, 2 laps down.
So the ultimate question is, will the 4 tires pay off for Travis Braden? Will we get another caution? Will these other front-running cars come to pit road? They still have 4 tires laying in the pits, most of them, everybody other than the 01.
You're asking a lot of questions.
I know.
Brad.
Well, I've got a lot of questions.
And the more laps we run off here before we see a caution flag, the less likely or the more likely some of these guys, as we see 3 wide now. Braden going on the high side trying to get that 2nd spot, and he's going to get it.
Sarah Cornett Ching from British Columbia in the number 2. She will give them way, and Braden goes to the high side. JJ goes down to the bottom. They had to split her as they went down the front straightaway.
I'll tell you right now, if we can get to 25 or 30 laps to go before we see a caution flag, then it's going to be a huge decision for these guys running up front what to do.
Tommy Hessert now running in 5th position in that Barbera's Autoland Dodge.
He's
it's
chasing down that 25 right there of Brandon Jones. That's a good battle for 4th. You know, Tom Hessert always brings his A game. Such a good short track racer, as well as he won at Talladega last year.
The engine that's in Hessert's car won at Talladega with his teammate Blake Jones driving. Can you believe that? From Talladega to Indianapolis.
Well, Indianapolis, Talladega, 2 of our biggest racetracks. Oh, that's different racetrack.
Oh, yeah. Different size.
Different
anyway.
size. 45 laps to go here. William Byron with almost a 5-second lead over Travis Braden.
Byron really opening it up. The number 55 car, Liberty University Toyota, is on a rail tonight here at Indy. Getting into closing laps of tonight's Sioux Chief PowerPex 200 from Lucas Oil Raceway. Under 40 to go, and William Byron has a very, very fast race car. And look at this, Tom Hessert now going to go down to the inside and try to get around Jones, and I think he's done it. Tom Hessert is moving forward. He will take over 4th spot.
Yeah, he's been chasing that 25 car for 20, 30 laps. Finally made a move on him, got that spot. The laps are winding down here. I'm telling you, we're getting so close now to the end, Ray, that if the caution were to come out, I'm not sure everyone's going to come to pit road.
We've got 12 cars on the lead lap, so you know somebody's going to gamble and stay out no matter what. It'll be interesting to see what the crew chiefs, what kind of call they have to make, and it really puts William Byron in a tough spot.
Yeah, he's the leader. He's the first guy that has to make that decision. He had a 5-second lead over Braden a number of laps ago. Right now, he's closed it down to 3.7 seconds, continuing to run very, very fast laps. Remember, 4 fresh tires later than these other guys got 2 right side tires. So we've got 164 laps on the left side tires on that 55 of William Byron's.
Travis Braden from Wheeling, West Virginia has 4 fresh tires, and he has moved through the field up to 2nd now. And as you said, that differential is shortening between he and our leader.
Yeah, right now for some clean racetrack, you see Williams in some traffic, having to go by Clayton Weatherman in the 10 car. Clayton had a good car early on, running in the top 10, had some ignition problems. Still finds himself 2 laps down. There's the 80 car slow on the racetrack.
Scott Reeves.
See if he can make it back around. It looks like he has enough speed to get back around.
We saw the other Finney racing car with heavy damage in the middle of this race. Brian Finney had a big hit on the front straightaway, so it looks like their team car also with an issue as he goes to the pits.
There's a 22 of Kyle Weatherman right there. He runs in the 6th spot. Grant Enfinger, the 23 is 7th, and Josh Williams, the 6, is closed in on that battle. He's just to the right side of the screen there.
You know, we talk about this Calypso Lemonade short track series, and I said Enfinger needs to make a little bit of a run. Well, guess what? Kyle Weatherman continues to run around in 6th position, but here they are once again on the racetrack right in the same par track. We see this week in and week out between Enfinger, Weatherman, and normally Austin Wayne Self is right there too.
Yeah, there's Josh Williams. He's catching that group right now, running the 8th spot. That's Brian Keselowski in front of him. Brian's a lap down now. Brian runs in the 13th spot, but he's the first car 1 lap down. Josh goes to the bottom. You see how close he is to the 23 of Enfinger.
3 times this season, Josh Williams has finished in 3rd position. He did it at Mobile, also at Toledo, and at New Jersey. So Williams has been a contender in and out. And like I say, just that one big bad number which sticks out from Iowa.
Yeah, he's had a couple run-up finishes in his career. Once at Chicago on the 1.5 mile and another on a short track.
Finished 18th at Talladega, but I think that 22nd at Iowa, where he was running in the top 5 or 6 throughout the course of the day, really put a hurting on the 16.
Yeah, he can see that blue car right in front of him. He knows that's a spot, and he knows that 22 car in front of that blue car's a spot. So he's got 30 laps to go, and he needs to get those 2 cars.
All right, 30 to go, crew chief. What are you going to do here if the yellow comes out and you're the leader? Do you stay out now? There's not much time left.
Well, I don't know. I'm glad they got a committee down on pit road to try to figure that out. But they've been watching the lap times. I saw them after this most recent caution. They could run in the low 23s. I saw William Byron run a lap about 23 flat. Right now they're running a 2.5 slower than that at 24.50. But Travis Braden restarted this after this most recent caution with 4 fresh tires, and he's only made it up to 2nd now in that many laps. So, but he is only 2 seconds behind. He's definitely the fastest car on the racetrack each and every lap. I'm telling you, if this thing plays out and runs green the rest of the way, that 0-1 may catch William Byron.
But even if we get a yellow, then Byron is in a position to have Braden right behind him, and he has to decide, do I stay out or go in for tires? Man, I'm glad I'm not the one who has to make that decision.
Yeah, and we know Braden's going to stay out because he already put his 4 tires on, which was a great call. And it could be a race-winning call here. Depends on what happens these last 28 laps.
His crew chief, Matt Weber, rolled the dice. We'll see how it plays out. Here's Weatherman. Now, once again, remember, Weatherman was absolutely the dominant car for the first 50 laps. Then it seemed like the handle went away a little bit, but on the long run, his numbers have been pretty good.
And remember, these guys have only had 1 opportunity to work on these cars. They came down pit road 1 time, put right side tires on, made an adjustment. So still a pretty decent car right now, running just outside the top 5.
I have a feeling that Paul Andrews is itching for a caution. I think he'd want to put some tires on, make an adjustment, and try to go win this thing.
Yeah, there's no question that the guys probably outside the top 5 for sure going to come put tires on. Just remains whether William Byron and J.J. Haley, Tom Hessert, are they going to come and put tires on? But we got to get a caution first.
Right. What to do, what to do. Glad we're not the crew chiefs. Hope you're enjoying the Sioux Chief PowerPex 200 from Indy. To go, and we have a dandy for you tonight here at Lucas Oil Raceway, and we have a brand new leader.
Travis Braden, by putting 4 tires on our most recent caution, chased down William Byron and put him away. Now all he's hoping is no caution flags, because he knows he's made his bed. He's staying on the racetrack, and just about everyone behind him now is going to come for tires if the caution comes out.
William Byron has led 119 laps as our leader is in heavy traffic right now. He's going to split through the center there, and here's how he got the lead, Phil.
Yeah, William Byron got caught behind A.J. Fike in the 27 car, slowed his momentum a little bit. Travis Braden with those newer tires just drove to the inside of him, was able to get down the throttle down, have that good bite up off the corner, and made the pass for the lead.
So the ultimate question here is pretty simple. Will we have a yellow or will we not? And then what happens to these front-running cars that are following the 0-1 now? And here's a good battle. To the high side goes Weatherman. He's trying to race with Josh Williams down the front straightaway. And that right there, Weatherman is in 7th. Williams is in 6th. Or excuse me, yeah, Josh Williams is 6th. So these guys continue to fight.
We saw him chase down Enfinger and Kyle Weatherman. Now he's been able to get by both of them to move up to the 6th spot. Great job by Josh Williams.
Only 100 points separating these two in the Calypso Lemonade Short Track Championship. So Williams making the pass, and that puts him into 6th.
Boy, the laps are winding down too. Only 16 laps to go for Travis Braden. How about first ever start here, possibly going to victory lane here?
A year ago, we had 3 drivers win in their first career start. We've already had 2 this year. Can we have a third? We'll find out as it all plays out. 15 laps to go.
Yeah, he's opened up about a 1.3 second lead on William Byron. Again, Williams tires no match for those 4 fresh tires. What a great call to put 4 tires on that car on that most recent caution flag.
Matt Weber calling the shots. And as you said, they really didn't have anything to lose. They were right at the back of the lead lap. But will we stay clean and green? And will the tires hold up for some of these other race cars?
There's our 11th place car right in front of him, Kenny Schrader. Kenny wants to stay on this lead lap in case we get another caution, but it's going to be a tough one to take for William Byron if this thing plays out and goes green the rest of the way. Had the dominant car by far.
No question.
And certainly, I totally agree with his crew by not putting tires on that early.
Right.
But who knew we were going to run the last this many laps under green without any caution flags?
So at the top of the show, I asked you who you wanted to watch, and you said there was a couple of young drivers. Guess what? One of them was Travis Braden. The other was William Byron. Both of them have had a pretty good night. And how about Chase Briscoe? He's continued to impress, too, running in 9th tonight. So 3 young drivers making their first ever start. All of them get an A+ so far.
Yeah, it just goes to show you how much young talent there is all over this country. And the ARCA Racing Series is a great venue for these young drivers to show what they've got.
Here's Tom Hessert coming by the start-finish line in that Barbera's Autoland Ford. That is the number 77 with 10 laps to go. Hessert runs in 3rd. 95 points was the differential between Hessert and Grant Enfinger, and right now Enfinger is back in 8th position and has really not been a factor tonight.
No, really hasn't. And early on restarts, he's been very, very fast, but didn't seem to have the long-term speed. But Tom Hessert's been solid, been in the top 5 this whole night. But what an outstanding job by Travis Braden.
Phil, we talked about it at the top of the show, but 7 consecutive first-time winners this season. Then we went to Iowa, and Mason Mitchell pulled off one of the biggest upsets of the year. The hometown hero pulled out his Superman outfit, and he got it done there. But he broke our streak. But really, I have never seen anything like it in motorsports, and we're about to add on to it here, even though it won't be consecutive. You know, this could be really the greatest story of the year.
Just look at all the talent we have. Wednesday night at Eldora, we had Bobby Pierce almost win that thing. We saw Christopher Bell get his first ever Truck Series win on the dirt at Eldora. Bobby Pierce in his first ever truck start takes the Mittler Brothers truck and almost to a win, finishes 2nd. And here we have Travis Braden here. He's within 8 laps of possibly capturing his first ARCA win in his first start, if the caution flag doesn't come out.
Hey, guess what? You know, I know another guy who won an ARCA race in his first career start.
Who's that?
Phil Parsons.
I did. I actually did. Back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
Kyle Petty's on that list. Tim Richmond, a whole lot of great drivers throughout the years. But boy, this would be a big deal tonight for Travis Braden, as they made a gamble by putting 4 tires on. We're inside 10 laps to go. How will it play out tonight here at Indy?
He has some lap cars out in front of him. He just needs to take his time, give those cars plenty of room. Don't push the issue. He's got almost a 3-second lead right now.
That's Matt Weber on the left side of your screen right there, the crew chief that made the call that put them in position to maybe pull off a win in his first career start.
No matter what happens, if the caution flag comes out right now and he ends up finishing 8th because everybody puts tires on, that was a great call by Matt Weber.
6 laps to go as they come by the start-finish line. This time, it's 5 to go.
See Josh Williams just outside the top 5 right now. He's running in the 6th spot, really doing a nice job. Again, Travis Braden just needs to take his time. They're right along with Josh Williams. Josh is about 5 seconds behind Brandon Jones, who runs in the 5th spot, so he needs just to run this thing out. He's got a little bit of a cushion over Kyle Weatherman by about 2 seconds, so he's not in any danger of losing that spot.
Braden's going to get all the accolades tonight if he's able to hold on and win this one, but I got to tell you, that 74 car absolutely impressed me beyond belief tonight. J.J. Haley has done a great job starting in the back and running it up to the front. He may be out of tires right now, but what a great job by a young driver who's only 16 years old.
And how about William Byron?
Yep.
Started on the front row, never, I don't think, got lower than about 2nd, maybe 3rd on his pit stop this entire race.
I think we figured it out earlier that Travis Braden's 21 years old. So a good young driver there for sure. And coming down to 2 laps to go here at Indianapolis. Will we stay green, and can he pull it off?
And remember, in the ARCA Racing Series, if the caution flag were to come out on the last lap, we would not finish it under caution. So he's got to hold his breath for another lap and a half.
Let's give a call out to a couple of his sponsors tonight. Mathewson Garage and A1 Towing is on this race car tonight, and the white flag will come out from Travis Braden. One more lap around. Can he hold on, and will we stay green?
That's all that matters right now to him, and will we stay green? He has a 3-second lead on William Byron. Just needs to keep this car straight, but he needs the rest of the 26 cars on the racetrack still to keep him straight.
Crew Chief Matt Weber made the call to put 4 tires on, and it's going to pay off tonight for Wheeling, West Virginia's Travis Braden. He wins at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
And another first-time winner.
How about that? 8 this season in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. We had 7 in a row, and we'll add another one to the list tonight. Not only is he a first-time winner, but he does it in his first career start in the ARCA Racing Series. That's pretty cool.
I just can't imagine what's going through that young man's mind right now and say, Matt Weber, I want to kiss you for making that call.
Great run for William Byron tonight. He ran out of tires, but he will finish 2nd. And Tom Hessert finishes 3rd tonight. A great run tonight here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park. We need to check in right now with Fox Sports Live. Let's go out to Los Angeles. Here's Greg Wolf and Don Bell.
Wow, big night for Travis. All right, welcome to Fox Sports Live. Don Bell hanging out with Greg Wolf. Later, how Braxton Miller could be the next Percy Harvin, and Usain Bolt's triumphant return to glory in the 100-meter.
And plenty of action around the diamond, including Scherzer, Verlander, and King Felix on the bump. But first, let's get it back out to Ray Dunlap and Phil Parsons at the track in Indy.
All right, thank you, guys. Looking forward to all the good news you've got on Fox Sports Live. That'll be coming up. We're going to want to hear from our winner tonight here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Phil, I got to tell you, they made a gutsy call. It paid off, but this man drove a great race.
He certainly did. He might have been in trouble if the caution were to come out with 40 or 50 laps to go, but how about some happy guys down some happy guys down there.
Crew members coming out to congratulate him, and an absolutely fantastic run for Travis Braden. He will climb out of his West Virginia University 01 Chevrolet. He's a winner tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
Yes!
Jim Trado is there. Let's go to Victory Lane here tonight at Indy.
He said to his crew chief, why doubt what you did? You are the man, Travis. You just won the ARCA Racing Series race at what it could be one of your best tracks. This is your 8th start here, but how big is this win with Matt Weber making that call?
He's a genius, I tell you what. I was questioning him. I was like, man, you're an idiot. I didn't say that, but that's about what I wanted to say. And I can't believe we just did that. I don't even know what to say.
Travis, when it comes to getting this car ready, you got Matt involved. He knows what's going on when it gets the car fast, but you're the wheel man. What was the difference tonight once you got those 4 fresh?
Well, it wasn't just that we had 4 fresh tires, but he made a heck of an adjustment on that first pit stop with 2 tires. And we kept it the way it was right there. And, man, I think it was the rock come off the corners. I don't even know what to say.
What were your emotions when you got to the 55, the race leader William Byron, and you motor past him?
You know, I was a little bit dazed at the time. You know, I was working pretty hard for a while, and it's kind of out of breath, but I knew what to do, and I don't know, I don't even remember what happened, to be honest with you.
This kid was on a rail. The team made the call. They had 4 Hoosier tires, and others just had 2 old ones. He is the winner tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway, winner of the Sioux PowerPex 200. And this young man doesn't know what to say, but I tell you what, a lot of teams are congratulating how he's run, including Josh Williams and others. A lot of respect earned tonight here by this first-time winner in the ARCA Racing Series.
Well, thank you, Jim Trado. Always fun to see a driver get their first win, but even more special when it's in their first career start. Braden will get the victory tonight. William Byron drove a great race in his Liberty University Toyota. The number 55 will finish second, Hessert in third. And as we look down the list, we saw Kyle Weatherman dominant early on, but Josh Williams will get by him. And we've got a really good battle going on in our Calypso Lemonade Short Track Challenge. Here's where your favorite drivers finish throughout the back of the field.
See, David Levine had a little bit of trouble there, finished back in the 26th spot. Brian Finney, hard contact with a wall, finishes back in 28th.
We had drivers tonight from 16 different states and Canada, 34 starters, and that's the unofficial results. The points as we came in tonight showed Grant Enfinger with a 95-point lead over Tom Hessert. That will certainly shorten up a little bit as Hessert finishes in third. Let's hear from our second place finisher back down trackside to Jim Trado.
Well, guys, when it comes to first-timers, this kid had it on a rail. After about lap 50, you're like, wait a minute. William Byron is not laying down. You grab the lead, but that had to be a big difference having 2 fresh right-side tires and older tires than what was Travis Braden's strategy.
Yeah, he took 4 tires at around lap 60 or so, and we took 2 tires. We thought for sure there'd be a caution, but there wasn't. But great job to them. He drove a great race. Nothing against him taking 4 tires like that. He drove a great race. So just proud of this whole Venturini Motorsports team and Liberty University for supporting me.
You had Kevin Belcourt, your regular crew chief. You had other crew chiefs, Billy Venturini coming over. When the discussion came to pit or not pit, did you have a say in that, or you relied on their veteran experience here?
Yeah, I just rely on their veteran experience. That was my first time doing live pit stops. So to do live pit stops was just enough. So I had a blast out there. Just can't thank all the guys on the team, the pit crew, everybody that worked hard on this race car.
Had a great string of top 5 finishes for this young man. First time in the ARCA Racing Series. He's a winner of the K&N East. He does late models at Junior Motorsports and now considers himself a veteran of live pit stops. Here, great run to second for this young man.
Well, thank you, Jim Trado. Good job down there tonight. It was an interesting finish tonight in Indy. We kept waiting to see if there would be a caution, and there wasn't. But here's a look at your first career wins whenever they did it in their first start. Some interesting names on that list for sure. And Todd Gilliland did it at Toledo at 15 years on 2 days old. So some amazing stats throughout the course of the season. I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight here of the Sioux Chief PowerPex 200. It's now time to go back out to Los Angeles. We'll rejoin Fox Sports Live. Here is Greg Wolf and Don Bell. Take it away.